Okay, welcome everybody. So that's a disclaimer. I won't bore you reading it this time. Change of habit. Lots of new names in today, so let me just run through this attractive slide here. My name's Stuart. I've been trading my own money since September 1997, and if you come to one of my seminars, I'll tell you the story. Those of you who have been will know the story, and it's a true story. It's a real watershed moment in our family's life, and it sort of kicked me into actually started getting into this business. Four things I would say I've distilled. It didn't take me 20 years to realise that, these four things, but for me, if it's probable, I tend to take the trade. I don't overcomplicate things, or I don't overcomplicate things for me. It might seem complicated when you look at some of my charts if you're a new trader or you have a different system to the way I trade, but that, for me, it looks relatively simple. If I don't understand anything, I won't use it. I don't really understand Elliott waves and talk about it and teach people how to use it, but I don't use it myself, so I'm not a great advocate of them. For instance, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with them at all. It's just something I've never really used. Multiple time frames, obviously, I've said what I've just said. Elliott waves fit into multiple time frames quite well as well, but I look at higher time frames, lower time frames. Typically I risk my own money on the daily time frame, but I'm interested in what's going on in the lower, the faster time frames, the 1 hour, the 4 hour, and also the higher time frames, the weekly and the monthly trade time frames. But most importantly all, and I learned to my own knowledge, it cost me a lot of money, but it's helped me make a redemption on that ever since, is to know yourself. You've got to understand that you lose a lot in this business. It doesn't matter if you're wrong, because you're wrong an awful lot of the time. It's just being able to close that trade and move on to the next one, just accept it. Trade with a stop loss, trade with a take profit, and let the market do what the market does. It goes up, it goes down, it goes sideways, and that's all you need to know, and that's all it does. It's simple as that. You can win and you can lose. You just got to deal with it emotionally and psychologically, and this business is a 90% psychological business. If you don't know yourself, the market will take your money off you. It's as simple as that. So today we're going to obviously look at some news. I've got 27 positions closed since last week. There's 9 open daily and continuation trades, and there's no 1 hour trades open. And I've got 5 or 6 things on the watch list, 4 definites, possibly 6 or 7. It's all to do with this oil malarkey and the indexes and some things like around that as well, but we'll come on to that in a minute. And anything obviously you want me to have a look at, please put it in the question box. I'm here to help, and we're all here to help, because if you're successful, we're successful. You tell your friends about us, you know, you get people trading with you, or you trade as a group or whatever, and you know, we all benefit. So hopefully you've all managed to, well, hopefully you can all hear me okay. Ibrahim said there was no audio for a while, but I think that's because I knocked the mute button on my microphone. And I've attached the 2 PDFs to the document as well. Cowell, run it. I will obviously look at Cowell. It's on my list. People have asked for that as well, so don't worry about that. About last week's performance, so have a look at that. Anything you don't understand on it, if it thinks it doesn't make sense to you, I've changed a couple of things, and I'll go through those when we bring the slides up. Please ask. So big week this week. We just had a big important speech this morning from Jay Powell, the head of the Fed. I didn't see it or listen to it. To be honest, I was in a meeting. I was with people, but the tone seems to be, the dollar seems to be very well bid intraday today, and that seems to be going on continually. Ibrahim, I'll come on to that. I'll come on to the Iran deal, or the US withdrawing from it unilaterally in a minute when we talk about the news, because that's the key event today, and it's been the key event for about a week or so, which is why the dollar, well, one of the reasons oil has picked up. So President Trump, the 12th of May, which is Saturday, was the cut-off date for the limit of the US being part of this deal. So President Trump, all through his election process, said the deal which the 6 countries had put together, Britain, France, Germany, Iran, and the US, had all put together to create, bring Iran back into the economic field. Sanctions were lifted. Iran could export oil again. That was agreed a few years ago, and now President Trump saying this has been a bad deal all through his election process, and he's promised to withdraw, or he's threatened to withdraw US from it, and that time is up on Saturday. And basically, my view is he will announce that the US has withdrawn, because he plays hardball. He's played hardball with North Korea and got sort of what he wanted, got them to denuclearize, kiss and make up with South Korea so far. So he's playing to his core 30% of the US, 35%, whatever it is, of US voters that voted for him. That very core right-wing Republican Party, or parts of the Republican Party, they love him. And he's playing to that crowd, and that will continue. So upshot is that basically the oil price has been well bid. It's US dollars over 70. Expectations are that he's going to do that. So if he doesn't do it, oil could fall quite significantly. The only other option he's got really is to extend the deal. So instead of pulling out of it, he'll extend how long the US are going to be in for it. So instead of it running out on Saturday, he might give it another 3 months or 6 months. But that isn't like the man or the politician, so I am expecting him to play the hardball, but we'll see. Nothing's done till it's done. Other key events this week. It's Super Thursday on Thursday. Let's call it for the pound in particular. Neither the Bank of England or the Reserve Bank of New Zealand are likely to move interest rates. It was big anticipation that the Bank of England were going to, but the data that's come out of the UK recently has been very weak, and that's unlikely to change. The voting, this 7-2, is unlikely to change, but it's the statement and the press conference after which it would be very, very key for the pound, and we'll look at the pound as well in a minute. Bank of New Zealand, again, new government there from last October, again, unlikely to change interest rates. Remember, they've got the highest interest rate of all the 7 key currencies that we monitor. So negative interest rates in Europe and Switzerland and parts of Japan, and 1.75% from the Central Bank of New Zealand. So although the New Zealand currency gets overlooked and lots of people don't trade it, it's a key currency and it's got a key interest rate, much, much higher than anywhere else in the world at the moment. So we'll see what happens there as well. One to watch for Asian session if you want to trade that live. New governor there, Mr. Orr, as well. Hang on, what did I do then? I've tripped on a week, haven't I? Yeah, Friday is obviously NFP last Friday. I wasn't around, but we got Canadian jobs this Friday, and then a speech to finish the week by Mario Draghi. Next week, another busy week. Inflation, GDP, British, UK wages numbers, GDP out of Europe, minutes from the RBA. Lots of opportunities to get your teeth into, to create volatility, because as traders, that's all we want. We just need volatility. We don't care if it's going to go up or down. We just want the opportunity to be able to trade it. So these high impact events are the ones that really move the markets, and they move these appropriate currencies. So lots of opportunities this week and next week, and as every week, indeed. So there we go. Any questions on the news at the moment? Ibrahim asked about my views on the oil situation and Trump's position, and I've just given you it for what it's worth. Okay, so this is the yellow here. I've had to, because there were so many trades in April, I've had to get rid of, so you can see the numbers, there's some, I had to get rid of some of the rows in there so we could get everything on one slide. But basically, the yellow ones are the changes since last week. These are the 27 positions. We had a big loser here on the DAX. What was our short? Went against the trend. That was a big loser. But we've had some big winners as well. We've had some a steady old week. And scarily, for me, let me, before I go on, Shadrach's just asked, is it only high important news that is important? No, Shadrach, but think about what you just asked me. Is only high important news important? No, but it's the most important news. So that those red impact events, let's just go back. These red impact events, Shadrach, are going to be the ones that really move the market. So these are the ones you want to focus on. So check the times that these are coming out. So if you're trading intraday, these are the big news events that you want to be aware of if you've got a trade open, or you're thinking of taking a trade, or the charts look like they've done something, or sometimes the charts move in anticipation of some of this news sometimes. So be aware of that when you're trading intraday. Where are you looking at news layout, Alicia? This is from this chart, Alicia, is from our website. So we've got, there's loads and loads of stuff on the website. I'll come on to that in a minute, but it's called the economic calendar. If you click onto our website, which I can't, can I bring it up in a moment? Let's just bring it up. Will it come in? No, it won't come in. I will come on to it in a minute, Alicia, okay? But it's you need to have an economic calendar. Ours is there on our website, and there's lots of trading websites have it up there as well. Whatever you use for, yes, Forex Factory is a great one. It's it's not bias is the wrong word, but Forex Factory is great. I use it all the time still, as well as as a complement to to this one, because some calendars. Oh, let's get into this now. Some calendars call one thing high impact, another one might call it medium impact. So it's a differential sometimes. The Forex Factory tends to give the pound a bit more emphasis than perhaps some of the other calendars. That's the only thing I would say. I don't know where it's actually based for at the Forex Factory, but it's some high impact events for the pound on there tend not to be on some other calendars, that's all. But this is our calendar and this is the one we use. But stick to one and use it. Forex, Forex Factory is great, Alicia. I like it. This is just the one we use. Our format just looks like this. That's all. I mean, all fundamentally the same, obviously, because it's economic data, and these things, these dates, this news items, these are printed like whole year in advance typically, so that you can certainly plan your sort of month, certainly with great accuracy. Ignis has just put up some my FX book. That's the one, is great for news. Okay, so my FX book is another one as well. So have a look at that as well. Anyway, I'm getting off the point. So hopefully I've answered your question, and now the slides have stopped moving forward. So that was last week. This is just what we've done since last week. We've had 27 positions, 970 pip negative net gain, obviously very good win rate of 25 of those, and a really good run on the 1 hour system. We had a good run yesterday. I haven't managed to put them all in because it takes a long time to put all these in, but the 1 hour system's working quite effectively. Obviously doesn't work all the time, but it's doing very well at the moment. And I say we've had a very good May so far. We haven't had a losing trade out of 19, which is a bit scary because the last few months we've had a very bad start to the month and ended up very positively here with April. We're up 3,000 pips from 175 trades. So hope that's not an omen that we're going to have a bad May. But anyway, so far so good, or so far very, very good. No losers, which is a bit mad, but that's life sometimes, and that's trading. You've got to treat them, treat them both the same. So these are the open trades, the white ones that are still open. There's an Aussie yen one from I can't remember what date it's from, but it's from mid-April, so it's not actually on this sheet, but that's still open. I've got a target for the Euro bund to 59.4. Got very, very close on Friday, but that's still open. Euro Swiss is short, and I've actually it triggered again. Oh, it's looking like it's going to trigger again tonight, short again. So this one's gone sideways, not gone anywhere. So that might be another trade on that one. Target 3 here on pound New Zealand. There's some other targets open up here which we'll come to as well. Let me talk through these as well on the list here. Let me just talk you through those. So CAD Swiss, which is not on here, as it was off there. That was a target 3. CAD Swiss isn't on this one, is it? Yes, there it is here. So this was a third target. It's just continued running. It hit that today, and we'll have a look at what we're going to do for a target. It hasn't triggered. I haven't opened another position on that, so that's still looking short. Oh, sorry, still looking long. What was the other one we had today? CAD Swiss, Euro Yen. Is that still? That's on here. So this has been open since the 27th, and we've had 5 targets now hit here on Euro Yen, and that target that's still looking short. So there was 6 target on there. We'll have a look at that when we get to it as well. So 261 pips there from the 27th of April, just following with the trend. That was a with the trend trade up on the daily time frame. Target 1, target 2, 80 and 20% of the and then it was a full position for 3 to 4 to 5 each time. So this is how those numbers. That's how that's 261 worked out. And what was the other one? There was another one, wasn't there? Swiss yen was another one with a multiple. This one's Swiss yen. Yeah. So again, so this is entry 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 targets hit there, and again that's still with the trend. Well, it was a continuation, but it's recontinued. It's very much with the trend. 193 pips on that one, and we'll have a look at a target 6 or 5 on that one as well. So keeps moving. That's the way I've changed a wee bit. Now then, those of you that with eagle eyes will be able to see what's gone on here. In this column here, I've tried to make this a bit more, I've made it more realistic. So here is when, I call it the dollar equivalent position. So let's have a look at this one here. Let's just bring this up. Try and bring up my pointer options. This one here. So just making it a bit more realistic. So here, New Zealand, pound New Zealand, it hit target 1 and then it hit target 2. Those of you that follow me for any length of time will know that the total move is 156 pips, but the actual percentage or pound win or dollar win, as you might say, is 111 pips. Because remember, so that's what I've tried to. That's why I've had this column for May. It's not from previous months. You can see they're all the same, but from May, every time we're going to have a target 2, we'll make this a bit more realistic from a dollar point of view, a dollar win point of view. So here, so this entry was there, that was target 1, so 80% of my winnings, if you like, was from that point to that point, which is $100, say, let's say 100 pips, and the 56 pips, which took us from 322 to 266, that, although that gives you a full pip gain of 156, and that's technically correct, it's a bit misleading because you haven't actually won that much. You've actually won this much because this bit, obviously, this is only, this entry to target 1 is 0.8 and target 1, or sorry, entry to target 2 is 0.2. So although you've made 156 pips, the actual gain when you do the maths is only about, it works out about 0.67 of the pips. I think that one's about 0.7, that one, but so it's $111. Let's assume we're doing $1 a point or $1 a pip. That would be instead of it, you know, looking impressive 156 pips. You still win, obviously, but the winnings are a bit. The realistic winnings are here. So obviously, when we're doing the 1 hour trades, it doesn't matter because there's only one target there. So the pip gain is the dollar equivalent gain. I'm talking like dollar equivalent. Okay. So although that's made 620 pips this month so far, the actual dollar gain, if you were doing $1 a pip, I'm not saying to do $1 a pip because it obviously depends on the size of your account, would be 575. So I'm going to, from now on, every time we do if these target 2s hit, we'll obviously, this pip will be higher than the actual dollar position. So I hope that makes sense. Right, some questions. Is the Excel template journal available for download, and if so, where? It's not a it's a very simple. You can have the. I'm happy to send you the Excel, and Alan, if you want it. It's very, very simple. I'm not the world's great. I'm by far the world's greatest Excel expert. These are very simple add and pluses and multiply figures to create these numbers. But yes, you can certainly, the journal, when you say journal, this is just a list of the trades I've taken. My journal is a diary, a page a day diary. It's stood next to me here, actually. I've got it brought into work for some reason, and I write everything down in there every time I take it, what I feel like, why I take it. Like last night I was lots of in and ahhing last night about what to do. Lots and lots of things had triggered. I only actually took one trade last night. So anyway, to get the new trade from last night was a long position on the Dow Jones. How do you check pips? Alicia says. What do you mean? How do you check that? I'll come on to that as well, Alicia, if you want to the understanding what pips are, and you need to understand those basics, Alicia, if you're asking a question like that. Does force major loan option available on HR? I don't know what you mean by Forest. Does force major loan option? Faraz, I really don't understand that question at all. So if you want to email me, if you need to write more, please. I'll put another, try and rephrase your question. I don't understand. Are you talking about force majeure as in loan option? I don't know what that means at all, Faraz. Sorry. So try and rephrase it, or drop me an email at webinars@forex.com. Where are we? It's half an hour and I haven't even looked at a chart yet. Anyway, so yes, long Dow yesterday, last night, 24,335. Target's half the ATR, 24,500. Target 2's here. Well, let's get on to some charts, which is what we're all here for. There we go. That's the year so far. 72% win rate, 400 and odd trades, lots in April because of all those 1 hour ones. So we're up 8,000 pips so far, but there you go. Could easily be not so good, but that's how we go. So this is the T1 and T2 I've just mentioned about the 0.8 and 0.2. Now say when I'm taking target 3, target 4, target 5, and then take a full lot, because I think the sounds a bit bizarre, but it's because the trend is then running, and it's running quite positively. You see that at the moment. So that's that one. I won't go through my setups again, but these are they're here on the slides. If you want them in more detail, I'll go through them. Basically, I'm a moving average swing trader. Those of you who have not heard me talk before, up on the daily time frame, and I've drilled that down to work also on a continuation trade, and I use the ATR as setting of a target. A continuation takes half of the ATR. A full day trade takes the full ATR, or a multiple of the ATR, 1.2 of the ATR, the average true range, that is. And the 1 hour setup is to do with the moving at the 5 and the 9 EMA exponential moving averages crossing, and then they need to cross the 20 period moving average, which happens to be the midpoint of the Bollinger Band as well. So I use the Bollinger Band as well on that setup, and again I'll use the ATR as my target, and I'll get in and out. And as we've seen yesterday, with some very strong trends, so you can get in for 10 pips, out, wait till it continues again to get in again, and then in again and in again. And obviously the key thing, target, stop loss. The stop loss has to be where the stop loss has to be, and size, your lot size, your account size. So if you do lose, you're only losing a small amount of your account, ideally 1%, but that's a story for another webinar. But maximum of 2 or 3%. If a client wanted a loan, is any option for a client from? No, we're not a bank in that sense, Faraz. We don't loan money. We're a broker offering a platform for you to trade. And I'm here to help you learn how to trade and teach people how to trade. So that's the 1 hour system. Let's get onto the charts, because that's what we're here for today, isn't it? You listen to me till you know the cows come home, because I haven't taught forever, unfortunately. Right, let's just go through the charts. A lot of you on Facebook put lots of charts on there today, so thank you for that. These are the ones you've asked for me to have a look at, or these are open trades that I've got currently open. So let's have a look. So gold, I haven't got a gold trade open at the moment. It's sort of triggering around, it's hanging around like as if something should happen, but oh my word, let's take all these. Shows the last time I looked at this. Let's take all of these off here, because that's a bit squiffy. 20th of April was last time I had a trade on it. Let's take all those lines off there for you all. Okay, so gold is looking weak in a sense, because dollar is being bid, so you would expect that. And we're into May, and it's not a great month, so it seems to have broken here. The first thing I can draw my attention to is there. It's broken below this 13.10, 13.11 areas where we are. That's that support there. There was support here. This is, let's do this logically. So here, once this is the daily, this is going back to January. There was support there. We got more support there in February, March, and we've broken through it. So support, key support here is the 200 period moving average at 13.05 level. So it's still weak, continue to weaken. So dollar looks weak to me on the daily chart. Okay. New Zealand dollar, again another weak one. It's broken out of this, broken through here as the dollars. This is a great example of how strong the dollar's been over the last couple of weeks. Went too fast on the daily. Robin, are you talking about the gold one? Daily strategy? Oh, the daily strategy. Yes, of course, Robin. I will. Yes, sorry. I thought you'd been here before to see that, but certainly, yes, of course I will. Sorry about that. What was I saying? Yes, so we've had a breakdown here, break under this key support. So we'd had 1, 2, 3 levels of support here at 71.90. That broke significantly a couple of weeks ago, and New Zealand dollar is against the US dollar is now down here at 69.74. So the issue is, where do we go from here? Well, weakness prevails. That's a strong move down. The only question is obviously the steepness of the move, but the big wide Bollinger Band is suggesting more weakness. So it's tried to hang on to 70 here. 70 is the area here. 70 is broken it, and it's broken down. So where's the next support? Well, as you can see 70, this line here, 60, well, where we are now really, 69. 70 zone, 1, 2, it's a bit of support there. So the next level of where it hung around for any length of time is here at 69.08. So 69 is the next logical stop for this if this trend unwinds and continues to unwind. And then next level is down here, and these lows, and then ultimately the low on this particular chart was from the 17th of November 2017, which is all the way down at 67.67. So this trend, which is looking like it's running, ran off very aggressively, stalled a wee bit, and it's stalling at 70, but it's broken through 70. So 70 for the dollar, Kiwi dollar, US dollar is the new pivot point, and that's as you can see, we were short here from the 17th of April. Took 1, 2, 3 trades out of that, and we haven't continued for some reason. But there you go. You can't trade everything. There's only so much margin in everybody's account. Robin, great. I will send you that afterwards. Okay. Swiss yen. What's going on here? This is one of these continuation trades we've had. So we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that already hit? Is that mentioned? Yes, I mentioned that today. So that's hit target 5. So this is one we talked about before. Swiss yen. So we've run down here on Swiss yen. I can't remember how many pips we've taken out of this, but this is a trend that's running. We've broken through this low here. This is our entry here. We were looked like the energy with a big candle again. Break of the 20 points. So it's run off. So let's zoom up a bit and see where is our next support. Well, look, it's off the chart. It's off the screen. That's always a bit woohoo. So we've overrun. We've overextended. Are we overextended? Well, no, because the well, yes, we may be, because the RSI is now down here at 24. So that's a heads up saying, do we keep this going? Well, there's nothing to suggest to me that this is running out of steam yet. Big candle, smaller. And that one's smaller than that one, yes, and we got a smaller one today. So, but it's still running, just like we had a big move down there, move, and then another move. The leg seems to be going down. So Swiss yen, move to target 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where's target 6? Well, let's have a look. What's the weekly telling me? Well, the next support here on this weekly, if this move is going to, it's probably between these two. There we go, down here. So 108, 108.11. So let's call it 108.10. Okay, so there's potentially another 40 pips in there. So my target 1, 2, 3, 4. Hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4. So target 5. I know it seems very arbitrary, but that's what happens. That's how the market does. That's how the market moves. I may miss out because it, too greedy, but that'll be another 40 pips on that one there. Where are we? So 108.64. I'll take that down to this 108.10. I might move that up to 15 or something. When I actually look at it again, so the bottom of that is where, takes me to 108.19. So I'll call it 108.15 would be target. So 108.15 is my target. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for CAD, for Swiss yen, because that's what the weekly is telling me. So off this chart here. So let's call it. Let's put it in there, and that makes that object list, and we'll take that. Call it a blue, call it so make it a few pips, 15, as we've had lots and lots of pips out of that one. Okay, and now then close. So a stop loss now, because actually that's not, I haven't actually entered that trade. That's that my preferred target. So I'd have to go to my trading platform to actually enter that, but that's even if I'll put a buy order in here at the target we've just hit 108.05, and we'll see where we close tonight. And the stop loss, I will now put it back over the previous target, back up. It's probably 109.16 here. So if it does turn around, or above this, top of this yesterday's candle actually, because I was trailing this one down now because I bagged lots of pips on that. Don't want to get too greedy, but 5 targets looks pretty greedy. But we're just tracking this trade down. So that's a Swiss yen target. 4 or 5 or whatever it was. Euro, Oz, what's this on the hour? Is this what open? Yeah, this hit target 1 and it's retraced. Target 2 still here, 157.70. This is still a short position from the 2nd of May, Euro, Oz. So I'm still short here. Target 1 I was expecting to be a bit of resistance because we had this fractal here, fractal there, but we got to the target, thanks very much, and it's retraced today quite aggressively. So see where we go, but that's still short. Euro Oz, that's still open from the 2nd of May. We're still short on that one. Euro New Zealand, another one. Let's hit target 1, continuation again from the rollover here. Expectation of breaking through the 20 period. That's where our target 1 was, right on the 20 period. Hasn't done that. And it looks like it's retraced today, but again you might expect that. So we got to target 1, target 2 maybe a step too far, but it's still open, so we're still short Euro New Zealand to 169.20 from 170.86 again on the 2nd of May. Can you look at dollar yen? Alicia, I will look at dollar yen. It's on the list here. No problem. We'll get to it eventually. I'm just doing these as they come up, Alicia, and everybody else. Obviously, these are trades that are either open or closed, or as you've asked them. It's just the way that the MT4 platform's set up, unfortunately. I can't present it in a more. If anybody knows a better way of me setting these charts up, I tried doing it so we looked at each of the currencies, but it was taking too long to go through them all. So I just put them up as and when you want them. So euro dollar, big break as I've hopefully been watching the videos, but you know, now 119 broke yesterday significantly. There we go, 119, whatever that is. So we broke through that on Friday more significantly at the end of the week. And actually, just put that object list. It's not on there. I like those of you that again listen to me before, you understand the significance of these round numbers. And so 119, 119, 000 gets to it. We broke through it yesterday. So we spiked through it yesterday, and we're significantly through it at the moment. So 118.67. So the dollar bid continues, ladies and gentlemen. If you look at the weekly, significantly, the 50 period moving average here was right on this 119, and we've closed through that as well. So close here. Next support, the big significant support on the weekly is down here at 117.55 on the 200 period. The monthly is also turned short here. It bounced into the 200, couldn't get over this 200, this 125 level, and it's come back down. And again, monthly 50 period is there at 117 or 118, I should say, is the next level here. Support up on the highly monthly, on the monthly, and you can see the monthly starting to move down as well. The RSI is 53 and starting to fall. And the energy that's taken it up here on the monthly on the MACD looks like it may be rolling over this month as well, but obviously that's right up on those higher monthly time frames. Weekly dipping down already. MACD up on the daily, it's already, you can see here, big move down. Is it oversold? Well, possibly. We're trading at 24 on the RSI, so there'll be some buyers down here. But the big move has already happened, and the break of 19 was quite significant. So how low can this go? Well, as I say, on the weekly we're down to 18. 18 is the next support down here, this cluster here, for euro dollar. That was that one. Hang on. Euro yen, this is another one of these continuations that just keeps on giving. Basically, I opened this on the 27th of April. You know, those of you that have got no patience, look what you've missed out on. Break of the 200 period. It was still above the 20 period moving average at the time, so it was still a bit risky. But the power was in this one. It's a rejection of 133.40 zone here at this fractal high. So moved down, and now we've just given. It's given and given again. So again, target 1, target 2 is quite quick. Target 3, 4 and 5 are already given. So we're approaching these oversold areas. It's just dipping into the oversold now. Euro yen. So how much more can the euro give up? Well, it seems to be weak against lots of others. The weekly telling me where. Well, we're right on this 200 period here at the moment, 129. So we could still, you know, next support, if this breaks, hasn't yet. So you know, we've got some more legs in that. So 128.60, another 100 pips potentially on euro yen. So again, I'll have a look at this one tonight, looking to add another short position. Obviously, the entry won't be here because that was just crashed through today, unless it depends on where we close today, of course. But all the other these moving ones have been entered as the target's been triggered. The second, the fourth, and fifth target. So we'll see if this one keeps on giving. But the daily low we've already got to the recent daily low here from March, but that's still a weak one. Let's say up on the weekly. Next is, oops, let's zoom in. Is where we are now. So it's interesting if that holds, but if it doesn't, a bit more weakness down here to this 128.50 sort of zone, 128.40 zone. So it's a weak euro yen there, technically and fundamentally as well, to be honest. Euro Swiss, this is one that was stopped. No, it wasn't stopped. No, we were short on this one, weren't we? We were short. I think this has just hit target now whilst I've been talking to you. Big move down today, Euro Swiss. This is a short I've got open. This is one that potentially shorting again tonight. So that's just hit target one. I don't think I picked that one up this morning. That's just happened since we've been talking. So target one's just been hit on here, 119.05 and 118.70 is target 2 here on Euro Swiss. So there's big. The reason for the entry there was this rejection of this 120 zone. Looked like I was long this one, wasn't I? I think I remember right. I think I was long and got stopped out on this one. And then reversed. This was this right as we went sideways, so it's gone up. So again, a weakening euro today, and continuing target 2. So short Euro Swiss is still open. Euro Bund, this might have hit target 2 now. Yes, there we go. So target 2 was where this is a long on. Actually, I don't know. That's obviously not. No, it can't have been. I'm saying it's hit target. It hasn't hit target 2 because that would have triggered yesterday, but it hasn't. It was still open this morning. So that's got very close to target 2. As you can see there, 4 hour, you see just the spike hasn't actually got there, and it's come back down to target 1. So we'll see. Can be quite choppy trading the bunds, but anyway, that's still open from the 26th of April. 20 minutes to go. I've got lots and lots to get through still. So EuroCAD, this is another one that I didn't take a second trade short position to. I don't know why this didn't, but this looks a particular weak bunny as well. This one is another euro cross, another euro weak euro. If the oil price does appreciate, it seems very, very common sense that this should continue to go down, but it seems to be hanging around. But again, nothing's triggered on my system, so I've not entered that one. So I took a little bit out of that one. 50 pips or so, I think it was on the looks things, yeah, from the 26th. But again, just didn't get on to, not organised to get into another trade. But that would have been not necessary, but certainly that should have been the second short position there. Should have entered there. The break of that fractal low. In fact, it was such a big move down. It's hung around, gone sideways for 3 or 4 days, but that still looks weaker to me as well. Whether I enter that again or not, I don't know. But that's EuroCAD also looking weak to the short side. Right. Oh dear me, excuse me. I've got lots to get through still. I'm conscious of the 1/4 to. So this was a trade I've taken tonight. Last night, I should say. This is a continuation on the dollar index, not the dollar index, the Dow, the USA 30. The USA 500 also was looking interesting, and the 2 oil trades were also looking interesting, but I've kept my powder dry on the oil and not entered them. But I did take the silver and gold are also triggering, looking like they're triggering around as well. But anyway, I did take this one. So this is a long position from last night at 24,335. It's a continuation. So the target is half the ATR. The ATR is 355 pips. So 175 pips was target 1. 24,510. Target 2 is 24,685. The full ATR for a bit of a retrace on the indexes, but we'll see if that actually plays out. I'm long these. I was long these early from beginning of April. We took some profit out of that. It's dipped down, but again, this 200 period is proving very, very supportive. Even on Friday when we, last week, Friday when we spiked down here to under 23,500, it still closed the day positive and up here. So my stop loss is here 23,860. So that's a long position, continuation position there on the USA 30. Swiss dollar Swiss. Somebody asked about that. Look at this one. That's an interesting look. Hopefully you can see. I don't know if you can see that writing there on the dollar Swiss. There's a line here that says possible short with the trend from the 10th of April, and that was a short position, and I was supposed to be going down to here, and look what happened. It completely stopped out, and look at it. It's rocketed since then. Interesting one for the Swissy is the fact that we're through parity. Parity is when a currency trades against another currency 1 for 1, and that's where we are here. So parity, when you hear people talk about parity, this is parity for object list for the pound Swiss is being achieved. Now I mentioned it. I think I mentioned it a while ago about parity looks possible. I think I remember writing something a while ago about this. And look at this. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14 days consecutively up, stepping up. That is what you call a trend. That is a typical big player just adding to their positions. Let's get There we go. I've still got something open. There we go. Close. Again, here it says possible short. So we went short here on the 10th of April and got stopped out. Yeah, I don't think it got stopped out on the second day, but certainly the fourth day we stopped out quite aggressively. And that's just ran off ever since. Again, something I should have looked at, but that's a classic long position. What's saying that was going long? Well, we'd broken over these fractal highs. We closed at it, and then we just continued, and it's just went under the radar because it's just moved up nicely and steadily. What a run that has, and now it's at parity. So where do we go from here? Well, let's have a look. Let's zoom in a bit. So parity's here. We were over it back in beginning of January, end of the year. Last year we got as high as 103.25. This is weekly. It's weekly. Yes, it's a weekly chart. So we're here now. We're already over this. So next resistance is about here, 10007. So 1007 potentially for Euro Swiss there on that. That's what that weekly chart's telling me. Okay, strong old daily one there. Still, don't fight it. The trend will turn eventually, but lots of people would have tried short this, expecting it to go down. That would have been perhaps a trigger of some shorts in, but that's been taken out, and then certainly taken out there, and it's just gone higher. This is a classic chart of like when people say it can't get any higher. Well, yes, it can, and so the strength or the magnetism of the parity number 1000 has dragged that all the way from down here over the last 2 weeks all the way up here, as people have tried to get on shorting that, but that's just had their fingers burnt. Dollar index rocketing a few days. Remember we were talking about 91 as being key. It needed to break over 90 a few weeks ago. It did that. I was getting quite excited when it broke over this top level. Yes, it did. But 91 was the next stall. That was looking positive, and then 92 last week, and off we go here. 92. Hey, a strong dollar index, ladies and gentlemen. It's it's difficult shorting the dollar at the best of times, but when it's on a run, careful you don't get your fingers burnt, and that's what we've got. We've got a very strong 2-3 weeks now dollar move, so watch that. And remember, dollar moves everything. Aussie yen, this is one that's been open for yonks. It's not going anywhere. Oh, finally it's hit target 1 today. Oh, hallelujah. This has been open since the 20th of April, and it just went sideways. I got quite excited after about day 4. And then it just didn't do anything. It went down again. It was still going sideways. Got quite close to target there. Let me zoom in. This is driving me mad, this one. I was going to close this one today, ironic, but there you go. Glad I didn't. There you go. Patience finally paid out. So that's been open 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 12 days. That's it's a bit of cost overnight financing, but 12 days we finally got there. And it's 100. No, it's not. It's 90 odd pips, isn't it? 82.53 to 81.61, and target. Once it's broken target 1, it's having a right old go at target 2 as well. So 81 is my next target here. So I'm sure Aussie yen target 1's finally been hit. Hallelujah. That's probably all. I haven't got the spreadsheet here in front of me, but that's the bund will be the only April trade that's open. So we've closed. We've had a very good April with our 3,000 pips or whatever it was, so well done me. There you go, pat yourself on the back. 10 to any key currencies, ladies and gentlemen, you want to get through? I will get through all the ones that are on the chart, so we might run over our time, so I apologise for that. What's this? What's going on here? This is a short. This is Aussie Swiss. Is this still open? I can't remember. Looks like no. It stopped. Did I go long? No, I can't do it. I stopped it here. I closed this here at 75. Oh, did I? That's a very round number for me to. Doesn't look right. That. Why is this open? 23rd. It's definitely a losing trade because it's gone back against there, and that's. But I don't remember closing something at such a round number. 75. I think it was 75.15. That one was closed. But anyway, that's maybe looking at it might be turning around. So Aussie Swiss. Maybe turning to go short again. A big strong down day today. Perhaps it's this Aussie budget that's just come out that's caused the movement. So anyway, that's Aussie Swiss. That's for Aussie CAD. Let's get some more pound. Let's do the pound. Somebody just asked for the pound. Somebody asked for the yen earlier. Let's look at some of these majors rather than me prattling on about others that I've taken that you guys don't necessarily trade. So yen for me. remains. Let's take all this off. This is all a bit confusing, but we're under 109. 109 is the new pivot, and this was am I short? I was short this. That's right. It was a continuation trade, so that's why this is on here. So daily, it looked like this was a big resistance area, and it's it's held. This Fibonacci level's held. It hasn't got the 60. If it was still going to run up, but it looks like it's turned around. So I took a short position here on this is dollar yen on Friday, wasn't it? Let's close that. Let's zoom that up so you can see that a bit better. This was it Friday the 3rd or whenever it was? Yes, Thursday before I went away. And we got to target 1. It was only 28 pips, but we got very close to target 2 on NFP day. Didn't happen. Big doji yesterday. We're still short. If this turns back up here, because this still looks like an uptrend to me, I'll close the target 2 on the continuation. If we close back over our entry probably on that one, I'll suppose stop losses on that one. So yeah, dollar bid, but the one it's not looking very aggressively against is the yen. So as you can see that it's had a really good, again another good run through April, tailed off a bit recently. So chance of a short continuation there, which has hit target 1, but it's still looking like it wants to get into this zone, this 110.35 potentially, but it capped strongly here by the 200 period moving average here at 110.16. So 110 is the next target up on there. CAD, dollar pound CAD, yeah, I'll come to that as well. Cable remains weak. We're under 135. It bounced off 135, and we're back to it now. 135.02 as I speak. So this zone here I talked about many weeks ago, we've come into 135.72. We've moved down, but look at that move again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 2-week move, strong move down. British Bank of England aren't moving interest rates up on Thursday, so that heads up was given here. We were in here, we ran that one. I didn't actually get target 3 on this one. This is one I should have, would have, could have. We'd all be millionaires, wouldn't we? But it doesn't happen. But that was only a target, and again, that's another one that again, hindsight's a great thing, but should have run this down. This clearly now. This becomes absolutely critical, the 200 period moving average here at this 135 40 zone, and we're under that at the moment. 135 becomes the next support. So a weak pound and a strong dollar only causes something to move in one direction, and that's the sort of sentiment and momentum you're looking at. I'm certainly looking as a trend trader. Silver, I'm not sure. I wasn't sure short or long silver. Let's take all these lines off here because this is some trades from before. Clean it up. I'm not sure whether this is a long or a short, to be honest. Silver, I can't decide. It's triggering both ways, but it's certainly in a strong cap here on the 200 period here at 1780, and there seems to be another channel here. So this is for the channel traders between. So it's been bouncing up and down here since this is back from February, March, April, May. Broke out a little bit, ran out of steam, broke out the bottom a bit. It didn't really want to, so it looks like it's maybe drifting back to the top, but it's still under the Bollinger Band, so nothing going on for silver, but one to watch, obviously. CAD Swiss targets, what's that? 1, 2, 3. It's rolled over quite aggressively, so we'll have to have another look at that tonight if there's another target to be had on that one, or if that's ran its course now. As we've had a big move down. CAD's moved down against Swiss. Is this to do with the oil inspection? Is it? Is a reversal coming on cable? Well, everybody said run it. Let's just go back to cable. Is a reversal coming because it's ran down? Well, this is the area you want to be looking at. Run it. This 200 period here, which is 135.40. Remember, this is the exponential moving average. The simple move. If we change that, the simple moving average. Oh dear. The simple moving average on this one, it's the simple one, sorry, excuse me, it's the simple one, so that's the key one then, so 135.40, and we're now down here at 135.06, that's significantly below that 200 period, but obviously today isn't closed, but this is now is your key pivot area, 135.40, so 135 is the next psychological number, and 134.50 is in here for some reason. I can't remember why I put that in before, but that's the next pivot low from here, and the bottom of that candle there, and through this cluster here, this resistance. So 134.50 as well. if this finishes lower. So that doesn't look like any sign of reversing yet, really. Wait till it happens. Don't try and anticipate. Don't try and jump in too early, because again, many players would have thought this was going to retrace here. It was going to hang on to 139. As you can see, it took a while before it broke through, but when it broke 139, it broke it very aggressively, 100 and odd pips, and 138 just gave way straight away and became an irrelevant number. But for 4 days, it was hanging around, looking like it was going to get. But the key thing was that it broke the 20 there. Here, the moving average here is broken over the 50. It's another negative sign, and that's moving down. So pound cable moving down. CAD Swiss, we just talked about that. Target 3 has been hit, possibly target 4. I'll have a look at that tonight, because that's come off quite aggressively. This move down, it's engulfed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 previous days. So watch that one. Oil again, it sort of triggered long last night before last. I didn't take it, but the emphasis is to the upside. So this is UK oil, $75 plus, and same with the US oil. Where's US oil? Where's US oil? It's not on here. US, there it is. US oil is exactly the same thing at this key $70. So the market is anticipating Trump will pull out of the Iranian deal, which is why oil has rallied over the last couple of weeks. If he doesn't, or he comes out with something a bit more dovish, which we don't think he will, oil could come down quite aggressively back into this 68. Certainly the back into this sort of zone here. This could give up very this junction, this bit there, that there above $68 could give up very, very quickly. If there's anything that undermines the oil price, anything dovish he says. Otherwise, well, it's off and running. And 77. Remember, at the beginning of the year, $76 was a target for the oil price this year on the higher time frames. Not necessarily in May, but certainly it's ran up very, very quickly this year. So $70 is now key for the US per US oil price. New Zealand, Swiss. What's this? This is a position from the third hit target 1. Doesn't like it wants to hit target 2 or target 3 from that. Right? That's still. So yeah, that's turned around. So we'll see what's happened there. That's out of the money now. I know, probably still in the money because that was 80%. So we'll see what I might be closing target 2 on that one. So New Zealand, Swiss, which was a long, has turned around quite aggressively today. It needs to break below there before that's going to start to go down this area there. But we'll stop loss all the way down here. I'm not going to let it run all the way down there. Doesn't need to do that. So we'll have a look at that one later on. So New Zealand, Swiss looks like that one might maybe getting closed out. DAX was a shot. I don't know if DAX is on there. Nobody asked for DAX, did they? I don't think so. Right, what time are we? It's 3 minutes. So another one, we should have had another target. Aussie CAD hit target 1 and target 2. This is from the 24th again, and ran down. It's come back up. I don't know why this one's still open, because this was last week, wasn't it? Yeah, target. Or did it hit? Aussie CAD. Why is this one up here? Somebody must have asked for this one, I think, again, because this was closed. This is hit target 2 last week. So again, another one for target 3, but it's retraced. But that's still weak. That's still negative. We're still under the higher time frames here, the daily. We're under the midpoint of the Bollinger Band. It's pushed out of the Bollinger Band and retraced a wee bit, but then it's looking to go short. So that's looking like that's going short again. That's looking like a weak one, Aussie CAD. And indeed, I think Aussie CAD may have been on. I had lots of triggers last night, and because of the oil situation, so Aussie CAD was a potential long trade tonight. Actually, I'm looking at what triggered last night. So last night, this looked like it may be going long again. It's triggered on my system, but obviously it's done the exact inverse of that so far today. Obviously today isn't over, so keep watching. But that was going to be a long today, but it looks like that may have turned around. So it might be going back to trend and back to short. So that was one of the one that's on the watch list. That was Aussie CAD. I didn't tell you the watch list. The other one that's on the watch list from last night was the Aussie New Zealand short. Euro pound short, which I've talked about already. I'm already open on that one. And New Zealand CAD long. So there might be some, but that was, I say, that was there were triggers from last night potentially, looking to see if the movement went. We'll see. New Zealand yen. This is another one that's kept on giving. here, here, and we've moved on down again, and that's just another the next week. The next floor is at the bottom here, isn't it? It's 75.70, 75.70. It's hit or run all the way into 76. This is from the 18th, and that's a short New Zealand yen. Hit both targets 1, 2, and 3, and it's kept on going ever since as well. Bitcoin, those of you that trade Bitcoin or buy Bitcoins, I don't know how many of you are out there. Lots going on here. So it's ran up to, it's stuck at this 9,460 level that we talked about last week and talked about before. So it's dipped, but it's ran, it's held, it's crossed there. So it's looking relatively positive, Bitcoin, to be honest. Ignore all these blue lines. These are from the rally up. So if we zoom in a bit, Bitcoin's looking relatively bullish at the moment. Pound yen also weak. Broke through the psychological 50 a while ago. This is the end of 8, and it's just got given up 49, 48, 47, and here we are at 47.20 or 48. So big break was the day before on Thursday, wasn't it? Yeah, the break of the 200 period there. So lots of short positions would have entered on the close of that with this rally, and that continues weak. So pound yen continues, the weakness of the pound continues there. 146.64 next stop, and then 146.30, and then the floor, recent low is all the way down here, ladies and gentlemen, 145 from February. So pound yen, the guppy, in a strong downtrend as well. Pound New Zealand, this is one that's still open. Again, another one that's hit, it's turned around a bit today in the last couple of days. So target 1, target 2, target 3 is down here at 191.70. Bit ambitious, but I thought if this moves continue, and it's retraced a bit, so we've got a bit of pound buying over the last couple of days. So again, we'll see where we've finished tonight, if we might close that target 3 on that one, but that one's still open. Somebody's asked a question then left the webinar. It's interesting. Lil Manny's asked, when the flow goes up, right, how do you sell? I don't know what that means, Manny. Anyway, yeah, hopefully you can. I'll send him an email afterwards, or she. I'm not sure. He's gone. 2 minutes past 3. I'm very sorry if I've gone over the hour. I apologise about that. Any other assets you want me to have a look at, or anything you want to talk about? There's no more. That was the last question I got. So there we go. That's where we are at the moment. As far as webinars tomorrow's a very significant webinar for me. I'm quite emotionally attached to it. It's a bit of a wrong thing to say, isn't it? But risk management and money management is absolutely vital. If you don't, join me tomorrow. If you can't join me tomorrow live, watch the recording of it, because this is absolutely, I call it essential, and I think it's fundamental, essential, vital, call it what you will, call it the emotional control. But that's tomorrow, all about risk and money management. You can have a very good system, and if your risk and money management is poor, you still end up losing lots of money. You can have a very average system. Mine isn't great, but it works, and I've got strong risk and money management, and that's what keeps me in the money. Okay. Felix, I've been listening to the beginning. I'm a rookie in the Forex business, so this webinar is my first. Invariably, I'm just grappling with every technicality being out there here. Okay, Felix, thank you for your kind comments. Felix, watch the go to our webinar site and watch the Mind Games webinar, because you need to understand the absolute fundamentals. And anybody out there as well, go to our video site as well. There's a very simple 15-minute video on there where I talk about margin, lot size, pip size, the difference between account balance and account equity and that sort of thing. You've got to understand these fundamentals of leverage, margin, lot size before you do anything, before you risk any of your hard-earned money. Okay, Jose, I've talked about euro, dollar. Sorry, oh boy. Felix, there's no rush. This is a marathon, mate. Okay, it's not a sprint race. It's a marathon. So get the basics first. Sergios, yes. Can we? Where you will go through your method slowly. So, Victor, I will call you. Okay, Victor, we've got a call scheduled, or we should have a call scheduled. As we said, we'll speak offline. Okay. All right, Victor. Let's speak one-on-one as we've agreed to. Okay. So there we go. That's tomorrow. Risk and money management. ADX with Andrea next week. Harmonic patterns with Otto, and correlation in the markets, which are fundamental again at the end of the month with Andrea. Live analysis every Tuesday. Bollinger Bands. This is what this potentially about advanced trading strategies. VPA Part 2 with Andrea. Volume price analysis and RNA support and resistance. Another fundamental trading approach with Otto from Blue Sky at the end of the month. Okay. So sorry, I've probably tried to get crammed too much in, but I'll go through my system a bit tomorrow as well, because risk management is absolutely fundamental to my system. Okay, so if you haven't got the app, download the app. It's very simple. It's got all our analysis on there. It's got all the prices, got all the news breaking. You carry it around with you. You can even trade from it if you want to download the trading app, but I tend to trade from my trading platform in my office at home. Books, again, there's lots of new people here today. So if you want to buy two or download two books, get this one, The Reminiscence of a Stock Operator. Look at that, 1923. So it's nearly 100 years old, but it's the best trading book ever written. It's a story of Jesse Livermore, and that's all I'm going to say. Google it, and you can download it as a PDF. The other one you should have is this one, Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. Another one you can get as a PDF. You don't even have to buy the book, but if you're serious about this business, invest a few dollars in buying the books, keep them. You can refer back to them time and time and time again. And I would recommend you have all these books that are on here, to be honest, because they're all great, and many, many more. I should add loads more on here, but Jack Schwager's great, Ben Graham, Warren Buffett's guru, Elder and Van Tharp, two great teachers of traders. They'll sell you courses, they'll sell you software, but I do it all for free. I must be mad. Anyway, Michael Lewis, a great author about the financial markets, writes really fluently. Undoing Project, my book of the year last year, fantastic book, all about psychology and how it affects not just the markets but our everyday lives. Nassim in particular, he's just got a new book out, Skin in the Game. It's on its way. I've ordered it from the UK and it's still coming here, the hardback version of that. Another great writer, all about probabilities. His most famous book is probably The Black Swan. Very independent minded, all about probabilities. He's been an options trader as well. He's a professor of unprobability. I can't remember his title now, but very, very, very witty guy. I very like him a great deal. And if you're brand new to Forex trading, Felix, have a look at Anna Cooling's site, annacooling.com. Forex for Beginners, a great ebook. She has a very similar approach very, very similar approach to me. I've read all her books. They're fascinating, great for beginners. She's a big fan of volume price analysis. That's where she's trades or based all her trading on. And she's just written a new book on cryptocurrency as well, which is okay. It's not brilliant, but I say as a beginner, she writes very simply and eloquently again for beginners as well. So Forex for Beginners by Anna Cooling. She has her own website as well. Anyway, there you go. All the best, everybody. Join me tomorrow. Watch our analysis page. There's videos up there. There's not been a few recently, but I'll put another one up this afternoon. Send me a friend request at Stuart Hot Forex Cowell on Facebook if you want to join me there. It's full at the moment, so there's only 5,000 people you can have on there, so it needs editing out a bit. But send me a message request as well, and I'll stick you on there as well. Okay, so thank you very much. Any final questions? It's 8 minutes past the hour. Or have I bored you all silly? Okay, very good, everybody. I'll see you all again tomorrow. Do join us, and please send me an email, send me a question if there's anything anything didn't make sense, or I spoke far too quickly about something, which is unfortunately what I do. Okay, all the best, everybody. Bye-bye.